Holding extra cash may have cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last decade. Not from a scam, not from bad luck, from doing nothing. You've got money sitting in a savings account right now, beyond what you need for emergencies. It's not sitting safely. It's shrinking every single month. And the worst part? You can't feel it happening. No alert, no notification. Just a slow, invisible bleed against what your money could have been doing instead. Here's what that actually costs you and how to fix it. How much playing it safe actually costs you per year. The psychological trap that keeps people parked in cash too long. And the one automation rule that puts your extra cash to work without you thinking about it. But first, this feels counterintuitive for a reason, and that reason is exactly why it works against you. Here's the thing about cash. It feels responsible. It feels like the adult move. You check your bank balance, you see a number. Your brain goes, good, we're safe. That instinct isn't stupid. Having cash on hand for emergencies is genuinely important. 3 to 6 months of expenses, parked somewhere liquid. That's not the problem. The problem is everything above that line. Once your emergency fund is covered, every extra dollar in savings is losing a fight against inflation, and missing out on compounding returns. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Stock returns have historically exceeded every other asset class, over 15 to 20-year timeframes. Not sometimes, not in good decades, consistently. The money you're protecting in cash, it isn't being protected at all, it's being left behind. But here's why most people never fix this. It has nothing to do with intelligence. Your brain avoids loss more than it seeks gain. Psychologists call it loss aversion. Normal people call it, I don't want to lose my money. It's incredibly powerful. When markets dip, even temporarily, your brain screams. Get out. Sell. Go to cash. Protect what you have. The problem? This instinct fires at exactly the wrong time. Every time. Pulling money out during a downturn locks in losses. Losses that were only ever on paper. Then sitting in cash while the market recovers? That's where the real damage happens. You don't just miss the dip, you miss the snapback. The snapback is where most long-term returns actually come from. Warren Buffett compared investing to a bar of soap. The more you handle it, the smaller it gets, which is exactly as annoying as it sounds. The best move is usually to do nothing, and doing nothing is the one thing your brain refuses to allow. But here's the part that makes this even worse. Let's make this concrete. Say you're $35,000, $50,000 above your emergency fund, just sitting in savings, earning at, let's be generous, 4.5%. Over 20 years, that grows to about $120,000. Sounds fine, right? Now run that same $50,000 through a broad market index. Historical average returns, roughly 10% annually before inflation. Same 20 years. You're looking at roughly $260,000. That's a $140,000 gap. Same starting amount, same person, same timeline. The only difference is where the money sat. That gap gets wider every single year because compounding is exponential, not linear. Year 1, barely noticeable. Year 5, you shrug. Year 10, you start to feel it. Year 20, it's a different financial life. This is the quiet cost nobody warns you about. No fee, no penalty, no line item on a statement. Just a future that's significantly smaller than it needed to be. Most people don't realize it until it's too late. The lost time can't be recovered. So what actually fixes this? It's simpler than you think, but it requires rewiring one specific habit. Here's what's counterintuitive. The people who lose the most to this aren't bad with money. They're actually pretty good with money. They budget, they save, they avoid dumb debt. They do everything right. Then they stop one step too early. And research confirms this isn't a knowledge gap. It's a behavior gap. Financial researchers at Rutgers identified 3 money problems. They show up at every income level. People spend too much. People save too little. And this is the one that stings. People save but don't know how to invest. That third one is the silent killer, because it looks like responsibility from the outside. Healthy savings balance. No credit card debt. You feel like you're winning, but you're stuck in a holding pattern. It costs you more every year you stay in it. The system is kind of designed this way. Banks love your deposits. They're not rushing to tell you your money does better elsewhere. This is completely legal, just in case you were wondering. Alright, here's what actually moves the needle. Step 1. Define your emergency fund number. 3 to 6 months of your actual expenses. Not income, expenses. Calculate it. Hit that number, then stop adding to it. Everything above that line needs a different job. Step 2. Automate your investing. Experts recommend at least 10% of gross income. Direct it toward long-term investments through automatic transfers. Not because you'll remember to do it manually. You won't. Automation removes your brain from the equation. That's the whole point. Step 3. Pick something boring. A broad market index fund. Low fees. Wide diversification. This isn't the place for stock picks or crypto bets. This money compounds quietly for 15 to 20 years. While you're busy living your life. Step 4. Stop checking it. Seriously, the more you look, the more loss aversion kicks in. Your brain tries to intervene. Set it up. Walk away. Check it quarterly at most. The bar of soap rule applies here. Every time you touch it, it gets a little smaller. Step 5. Starting from zero, start with $10 a week. That's it. The habit matters more than the amount. Scale it up as your income grows. The compounding clock starts when you start, not when you feel ready. And here's what most people miss. The hardest part isn't the money, it's the emotional shift. From saving is safe to uninvested cash has a cost. Once that clicks, everything else follows. If this reframed how you think about your cash, you're exactly who this channel is for. We break down quiet mistakes that cost normal people real money. The stuff that's obvious in hindsight, but invisible in the moment. Subscribe if you want more of that. Know someone sitting on a pile of cash thinking they're responsible? Send them this one. That future gap doesn't get smaller on its own.